It's your daily dose of Donna. Welcome to the show. Hope you are all doing well today. It is Wednesday, November 5th, a beautiful midweek day. It's actually not that beautiful yet here in LA. It's cold, it's kind of overcast. I'm sure it will get sunny as the day progresses, but I feel that overcast gloom. I'm feeling cold. I'm feeling a little bit gloomy. I'm feeling tired. I feel kind of like I want to take a nap. It's like one of those days. You know what I'm talking about? I'm also a little bit struggling with my YouTube look here. Again, it like resets on me. I don't like it. I'm not feeling it. StreamYard, you're gonna have to work something out for me. Okay, I fixed it a little bit. How are we doing, guys? We have a lot to talk about today. Okay, we're gonna get into all the stories. It's just our heavy hitters of the week. We've got a little Blake and Harry and Meghan, Kim Kardashian chat, plus some Dancing with the Stars. Bryan Freedman's making a comeback. We haven't heard from Bryan Freedman in a while. It's been a while. It's been a while. Then we can talk about Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Lots of little tidbits. We're just gonna hang. Today's gonna be a comfort show for those of us that are needing some comfort in life. I need some comfort. Yesterday I had a meeting, a final meeting for the bar mitzvah where I was presented with the final invoice. So yes, I need comfort today. If you know what I'm talking about. I need financial comfort. Everyone, please give this video a subscribe and a like as a way to give me a virtual hug to get through this painful experience of throwing your child a bar mitzvah. Oh my God, what am I doing? Everyone, it's your daily dose of Donna. Yes. We are coming on up to the day. I got a DM yesterday saying, "Are you going to BravoCon?" And I said, "I'm not. It's my son's bar mitzvah." And they said, "Did you do that on purpose so you didn't have to go to BravoCon?" And I said, "Girl, if only you knew. I booked this date back in like 2000. I want to say 2022. I think I booked it back in 2022. I think BravoCon picked this date so that I didn't go to BravoCon maybe. Maybe they picked this date to avoid me having to go to BravoCon. I'm actually kind of happy. I don't know if I'm spending more money throwing a bar mitzvah or not going to BravoCon. Like, where would I spend more money? I found out, I can't remember if, excuse me, Wrigley? Excuse me? Are you going to become a barker during my show? That's not okay, Bob Barker. I did find out yesterday, I think it was Zach that I was talking to about the price of BravoCon tickets. I think one day VIP is $800, like something psychotic like that. Is that true? That is the wildest thing. Now, please tell me, confirm with me in the live chat if that's correct. I think it's sold out. So I think what you're doing now is like buying resale tickets. So maybe the people are upping the prices. I could be wrong, but that is highly outrageous. Now, I have been to BravoCon only one time because I started this show in 2023. So there was really no need to go to BravoCon before that. I went to BravoCon in 2023. Actually, just today on Facebook. You know how on Facebook they like pop up your memories, like your memories from 2 years ago. So my Facebook memories from 2 years ago popped up. Is there a way to like see your memories on Facebook on the desktop? Search Facebook. Memories, browse your old posts. Let's see if that pops up and I can show it to you. 6 years ago, 7 years ago. Yep, here's 2 years ago. Let me show you guys. It will be interesting for you to see because I was hanging out with the housewives. BravoCon The actual BravoCon that I went to, so I got the 3-day tickets, like, at a 3-day event, and I only went for 2 days, and I found myself incredibly bored. That's just my honest feeling. I found myself incredibly bored. I found myself I felt myself walking around. I'm not interested in the panels that much, like, to be honest. Number 1, all the good stuff that you get, you can see on social because they pick up all the good, like, tidbits. All the content creators that are there are posting it anyway, so you're seeing it all regurgitated online right away. Plus, Bravo TV or Bravo's Instagram account, TikTok, whatever, they're posting all that stuff immediately. Secondly, you know, I believe they air a lot of the stuff on Bravo, like their Watch What Happens, they're airing it all on Bravo. You walk around, it's like a convention, right? So you're walking around in the main area, and every brand, Bravo has so many brands, they have booths. So that's cool. You get to kind of see all the brands, but it's long lines. I remember seeing Sheena Shea, and I was almost going to say Mike Shea, her husband, but it was Brock, obviously. Sheena and Brock had a huge long line signing her Good as Gold, records. I saw Whitney and her husband Justin signing something that was a long line. They time them out so not everyone's there at once. Who else did I see doing a line for something? Captain Sandy when I was there. They slotted out, but I was not going to stand at BravoCon for the whole day. I just couldn't. I was like, I'd rather leave and hang out with my friends at the hotel, at the pool, at the bar, at like do something or in Vegas. It just wasn't that fun to me. That's just my feeling. So I personally would rather watch from home or watch with friends or just hang out with friends at the hotel. Now, the way that I thought it was really fun to do it was my friend Lauren, who was at BravoCon too, was staying. I think she was staying at the Four Seasons. I could be wrong. I don't know if she was staying at the Four Seasons or she was somewhere and she knew that all the Bravo celebrities, Bravo Lebs, were staying at the Four Seasons. And she said, let's meet up at the Four Seasons and have drinks before the Saturday night, like big parties that they all had to go to, the big events. Like there was a big Watch What Happens that night and whatever. So we all went to the Four Seasons for drinks, for cocktails. This is after like a full day of drinking. I mean, that's what you do in Vegas, right? You gamble, you drink, you go from bar to bar to bar to bar to bar. So we go to the Four Seasons, and that's actually where I saw everyone, and I got to meet everyone. And now I'm actually friendly with a lot of them. This was 2 years ago. I wasn't really friends with any of them. The only one I actually really knew in real life was Teddy, which was cool to see her. But I'll show you guys some of my pictures for those of you that are new here. I'm sure those of you that have been friends with me for a long time had seen. So this is me and Tamara. But it's funny. I actually had not met Tamara in person yet at this time. Now, of course, I've met Tamara a few times, but at this time, I had not met Tamara. Jackie and I are now friendly, of course, but I like how I say, of course. Now we've become friends online, but this was my first time meeting her. I like this girl in the back here, mad dogging me. Like, who's this bee in the back just looking at me, giving me. By the way, everyone that is in the bar here is totally there to spot Bravo Lebs. Like, everyone there knows that that's where the Bravo Lebs are. It's hilarious. This is the Jersey cast. There was a bunch of Jersey people. It was Joe Gorga and now I can't remember her name. Rachel and her husband, and now I can't remember their names. I can't remember his name. Rachel Huda? Tell me, you guys. Fuda? John Fuda. Rachel and John? God, you guys, I have no memory. Me and the Grand Dame in the bathroom. I peed with the Grand Dame. And when I tell you I was obsessed with her, of course, this is before the drinking, the DUI videos came out. And she was adorable. She was in her pajamas, not really pajamas. She was in like a sweatsuit. And look how beautiful she is. Literally so beautiful, so cute, so adorable. We had a whole conversation. She was adorable. I looked drunk. It was definitely a few 14 drinks in. Look at my right eye. It's half the size of my left eye. I was definitely not driving. Okay. So no judgment, right? I was having fun. Jen Fessler and I, with the worst lighting in the history of America. Kate wants to know how she smelled. She definitely did not smell drunk. Okay. I did. I smelled drunk. I'm sure. This is myself, Sutton, and Sutton's. Oh, no, this is Kelly. This is my friend Kelly. I'm like, who? The lighting is crazy. Now, why is the lighting so bright here? You guys are wondering? Because Sutton walks around. This is not a joke. Walks around with a lighting person. Like, she walked around the lobby of the Four Seasons with her own lighting person for this reason. It was wild. I'd never seen anything like it. And that was it. I had a bunch of more pictures, but these are just the ones that I posted. Tamara was also like a few sheets to the wind. I think everyone was a few sheets to the wind. I was also chatting with Eddie and Edwin, who were there as well. I remember Crystal was there. A bunch of the Jersey housewives were there also. It was a whole group of them, a bunch of the Beverly Hills housewives. It was like a lot of the casts. It was fun. It was a good time. Okay, so that was just a little side note. I wasn't planning on showing that to you, but you know how the tangents go on Daily Dose of Donna. You can never expect the unexpected, just like Julie Chen. It's basically Big Brother here on this show. You've no idea what to expect, just like I have no idea what to throw at you guys. So let's get into the show. What else do I want to tell you? Is there any like exciting news, or is there anything super interesting that I want to tell you? I feel like there was, oh my God. You guys, this is weird. And I think you guys are going to appreciate this one. I was freaking out telling this to Lance last night, and he was like, okay. But I thought this was crazy. Remember at the end of at the end of yesterday's show, I started telling you about my obsession with Ask Not the Book, right? And I was obsessed with the story about Martha Moxley, the death of Martha Moxley. I'm saying it right? The death of Martha Moxley. And then I said how weird it was that as I was obsessed with this story, all of a sudden I go on Daily Mail yesterday and there's this long article about it. And I was thinking to myself, like, what are the chances that I am online, that I happen to listen to the chapter about a death related to the Kennedy family in a book that's not about this, only about this death. It's like a ton of chapters, but I happened to listen to that chapter yesterday morning. Then I happened to see this long article about that death yesterday. I'm like, why? Signs. I always believe in like these universal signs. Thought that was the craziest thing, right? Yes, it is the anniversary of her death. Aunt Clara says it's true. She did die the night before Halloween. So that could be also possible why. I mean, we're a week after, but yes, it's very possible that, but it's just weird. I've never heard of her before, never saw the story before. And then all of a sudden it's popping up. I listened to it yesterday. I see the article yesterday. And as I'm driving home yesterday, those of you guys, if you have a Tesla, there's a podcast app on your Tesla. Anyone that has a car that has one of those screens that you can like hit the Apple podcast, like, what is that called? Not emoji, widget or whatever it's called. So I'm driving. I have Lance in my passenger seat and I have both my boys in my back seat because we stayed at school late for a flag football game. I'm driving. They're all like on their screens talking, doing their own thing. I need something to listen to. So I hit the Apple Podcast app and up comes all the podcasts that I subscribe to. Well, I love a Dateline podcast. I love an NBC, like 60 Minutes type of murder mystery, any of those kinds of podcasts. And I recently listened to a Dateline podcast. It was like a 8-episode miniseries podcast called Deadly Mirage. If any of you guys listened to it, it was phenomenal. I listened to it like, I don't know, 6 months ago, 8 months ago. I can't even remember. I remember on a long road trip on my way to Vegas. It's a good one. It's called Deadly Mirage. The reason why I bring that up is because I subscribe to Deadly Mirage. You know how sometimes when you subscribe to a podcast, they add like a bonus episode onto an old podcast feed to introduce you to a new podcast, like a trailer of another podcast. They put it in the feed. So I'm driving. All of a sudden, I see in the podcast feed, it says introducing Dead Certain, the Martha Moxley murder. I almost got in a car accident. I said, what is happening? Why is Martha Moxley haunting me? In my death, in her death, on this day. I couldn't believe it. I literally almost screamed out loud. I've never heard of this girl before. All of a sudden, in the morning, I listen to the chapter. I see the article a couple hours later, and then there's a podcast episode that just pops up in my feed. Is that not the craziest thing you've ever heard of? So, content alert, there is a new podcast that we all need to be obsessed with because I'm going to be covering it because I'm obsessed with it now too. It's called Dead Certain, the Martha Moxley Murder. It is a new podcast by NBC News. It just started. There's only 2 episodes out right now, and it is really interesting. It's actually hosted by the guy who was hired to ghostwrite the book that was supposed to exonerate the killer of Martha Moxley. It's a crazy, crazy, twisted story. So it's called Dead Certain, the Martha Moxley Murder by NBC News. Definitely go and listen to it. Wild. All right. Now I'm going to get into the show. Our first story is going to be about Bryan Freedman finally coming out of his little shell, like Punxsutawney Phil or whatever they're calling on Groundhog's Day. Where has Bryan Freedman been? The amount of times I spoke about Bryan Freedman on this show, I should have gotten paid to the amount of times I spoke about him, added to the list of the people that are paying me. What is it now? Israel, Blake Lively. Well, Israel, Justin Baldoni, Tamra Judge, and now Bryan Freedman, right? All the people that they say are paying me to talk about them. Bryan Freedman has been MIA. And now they're smearing Justin Baldoni. Let's be real, okay? They are smearing Justin Baldoni, and it's so ridiculous. It's so annoying. I feel like all the press has been going after him, and everyone's like, it's over. It's over. Justin Baldoni lost and Blake Lively won, and she's so cute. She's so cute. She got smeared, right? And I have another post I have a bone with. I have a bone to pick. We'll talk about that in a second. But thank God Bryan Freedman finally, I was going to say came out of the closet, but that's like not the best way to, came out of his hole to finally speak, to clear the air. And Daily Mail is covering it. And basically it says, buckle up, Blake. Buckle up, Blake. It's far, far from over. And thank God. I mean, this was annoying, right? It says for a day it appeared to be all over, but the Daily Mail can exclusively reveal that the legal hatchet between Blake Lively and Baldoni is far from buried. Even though, Blake Lively celebrated by dressing like an old lady. Who celebrates by dressing like an old lady? No one? What? I think her Halloween costume had nothing to do with this, just putting it out there. I mean, listen, I'm all about trying to, connect the dots with Blake Lively stuff, but I'm not going to do this one, okay? She didn't celebrate like an old lady. She didn't celebrate by dressing up like an old lady, but whatever. Baldoni's attorney, Bryan Freedman, told the Daily Mail that is wide of the mark and insisted no deadlines had been missed. He also revealed that the reason he did not file an amended complaint. Oh, I can't wait for this article. We have to go here after, right? 1 second. Hold on. The reason he did not file an amended complaint, which led to Judge Lewis Lyman entering a final judgment on Monday, was to preserve Baldoni's right to appeal. He said the truth regarding this case continuously and completely gets distorted in the media. Welcome to mainstream media twisting and turning all the truth. Even something as simple as a procedural update has resulted in a total mischaracterization, he said. At this point, we have to set the record straight. No deadlines were missed. Our clients chose not to amend their complaint to preserve appeal rights. In the meantime, we are focusing on Miss Lively's claims. We remain fully committed to pursuing the truth through every legal and factual avenue available and look forward to our day in court. All right. So he is clearing the air. Appreciate that, Bryan. Finally. I have not voted on this poll. Let's see, according to the Daily Mail, if I vote here and it says, which side are you on, Team Blake or Team Justin? Let's see if the bots have gotten to Daily Mail. Are you guys ready? Obviously, I'm going to vote for Team Justin. We are still at 80-20, but I will tell you, times they are changing because people are turning. It used to be like 99-1%, and now it's 80-20. I think people are getting fatigued. People are getting fatigued over this, and they're getting over it, and they're now thinking, oh my gosh, is there really a smear campaign? And I don't know. So we'll see how that goes. Now, in the same vein, every time I see a Ryan Reynolds article, I have to jump into this. Look at this. Ryan Reynolds offends entire state. When does Ryan Reynolds not offend a state or anyone? With elitist jab about boxed wine. Let's get into it. Look, I'm sponsored by Grazie Wine, and this is a great moment to tell you that if you use code DailyDose at Grazie.com, is it Grazie.com or GrazieWine.com? Let me get my exact link. Grazie.com/dailydose. Best boxed wine ever. Okay. Now, I know Ryan Reynolds also has boxed wine, but please do not support it. Support Grazie Wine. GRATSI.com/dailydose. And you'll get phenomenal, sugar-free, organic wine that does not give you a hangover. Got it? Let's move on. Ryan Reynolds has managed to upset an entire state after promoting his new boxed wine by implying Minnesotans would get it more than highbrow East Coasters. The Deadpool star spoke to the Star Tribune about his cheeky decision to launch his new low-cost boxed wine brand, Ugly Estates. Wait. Hold. Ryan Reynolds started a boxed wine company? Do we know that? Did we know that? Did I miss that? Ugly Estates wine, and he called it Ugly Estates? Oh, I'm definitely signing into this right now. We're looking at it. I have to put in my birthday. Hold on. Have you guys seen this? Am I the only one that hasn't seen this? Of course, it has to be Ugly Estates. Everything's like so funny. A delicious departure in wine. Ugly Estates is all about rewriting the rules of wine. We have tossed out the old standards, swapping the pretentious bottle for something much more approachable. Now available in Minnesota. Get ugly near you. Let's get ugly. Let's get ugly. What is this? 100% waterproof. And it floats too. Oh, the box floats? Ironically, when it comes to servings, they're a 5 and we're a 6.7. 6.7. It's like a carton of wine. Okay, about us. Duluth, Minneapolis, and St. Paul. It's only available there? I'm so confused. Its Instagram has 540 followers. What is happening? Is this real? I feel like we're getting like punked. Okay, let's continue this article. It says he spoke about his cheeky decision to launch his low-cost wine brand, Ugly Estates, exclusively in the land of 10,000 lakes, but instead of charming locals, he sparked backlash with what many felt were condescending digs at the state and its residents. You want to go to places that will get it, Reynolds says when explaining why Minnesotans in particular would embrace boxed wine. I don't think Martha's Vineyard is really going to embrace the way Minnesota might. Despite his best efforts to woo Midwesterners, locals didn't find the remarks cute or endearing. Newsflash to Ryan, most people who drink wine here don't drink boxed wine. One Instagram user fumed online. Reynolds went to call Minnesota an underdog state, even though U.S. News and World Report ranks it the fourth best state in the country overall, and described its people as cold weather creatives who huddle together and get funny because you're freezing your butt off in the winter months. So apparently we drink boxed wine and laugh because we're cold. One commenter scoffed. The aviation gin mogul, who has admitted he only has visited Minnesota twice in his life, also leaned into the region's famously exaggerated accent referencing Fargo. I come from Canada. They love making fun of our accent, and they love going after the Minnesota accent and doing a little caricature, Reynolds says. When I'm watching Fargo or something like that, I don't hear it the way you do. I just hear my mom the way she talks. He also described his wine as ugly wine, good wine, but done in a way that's super affordable. Still, Minnesotans weren't laughing. What is this guy even saying? The whole marketing strategy behind this is so bizarre. Like, who does he think he's enticing? He thinks Minnesotans are cheap and lack taste. I mean, I hate to say it, but they're right. It's a very strange marketing ploy here, right? Did he and Blake not get the memo that they're canceled? Bye. A fourth critic chimed in to comment, as a Minnesota resident, I'll pass. Stop buying or talking about him. This is what the moron wants. Attention, one angry resident wrote. The Daily Mail has reached out to Reynolds as well as Tim Walz, the governor of Minnesota, but have not heard back at this time. I love how Tim Walz has to like make a statement about Ryan Reynolds and the Ugly Estates wine. Oh, Ryan. Kathleen says, ugh, I live in Fargo and this guy's an asshat. You heard it from Fargo, directly from Fargo. Asshat. Oh, then OSV says Fargo? Isn't that North Dakota? Is there more than one Fargo? You know me in geography. Don't be asking me where things are. Very, very odd choice. Like, why is he continuing to make bad choices wherever he goes? I feel like he just continues to make odd choices wherever he goes. No, please don't. I can see in the comments you guys are making fun of me about geography. You're asking me questions that I will never know. Where's West Virginia? I'm assuming it's west of the other Virginia. Okay, let's keep going. All I know is that California is here on the West Coast and not in New York. Okay, so let's move on to another story. Where are we, guys? Where are we? We got to move on to. Oh yeah, there's another little loss for Blake today. Variety actually reported it. I was kind of surprised that Variety made this news, but it was about Jed Wallace. And this is not it's not like that breaking. It's not that big of a deal, but it is a little bit of a loss for Blake because she was going after Jed Wallace for the smear campaign in the New York City, in the New York jurisdiction. And as you guys know, it felt like a reach. Jed Wallace doesn't live in New York. It makes no sense. He is in Texas, and it does feel a little bit like a reach for her to go after him in New York. But luckily for Jed, And it does make the most sense. Variety posted even twice here. Judge again tosses Blake Lively's claims against social media operative Jed Wallace. A judge has dismissed Blake Lively's lawsuit against a social media strategist she accused of damaging her reputation during the release of It Ends With Us. Judge Lewis Lyman ruled that Lively's attorneys had failed to show that Jed Wallace, who is based in Austin, Texas, had enough connection to New York to be sued there. So he's not completely out of the game, but he's out of the game in the New York case. Good news for Jed, shitty news for Blake Lively. For the first time in a long time, this judge ruled against Blake Lively. Good news for anyone that's looking for a little bit of balance in this case. So we'll see what happens to know. We need to know if it's with or without prejudice. That's actually a really good question. Let's defer to Not Actually Golden, the only lawyer I actually pay attention to. Speaking of lawyers that love to like reach with this, you know my issue with some of the lawyers that read about this case that refer to it in a very pro Blake way. There is one attorney that is very pro Blake, and it's a very hard thing to take it seriously when you're an attorney and everything you say and talk about is like in a incredibly biased pro Blake way, because then how can you take it seriously? And this, I just want to call out because as someone that has been called a misogynist through and through since January because of this case, just because I feel like happens to be that Justin Baldoni is a man and Blake Lively is a woman. This bothers me so much. It bothers me, this idea of misogyny. So this is like a go-to is believe all women, believe women, believe women, believe women, but they don't believe all women. They just want to believe Blake. And I don't like it. It really irks me. It's a very big go-to for anyone in that camp. And there's a lot of women involved in this case. There's a lot of women content creators who have been torn apart with subpoenas. There's been a lot of women on the defendant side whose lives have been upended. Publicists and producers and wives of producers, directors, etc., whose lives have been torn apart. But for some reason, like no one else matters except Blake. Like Blake is the only person's life who matters. And she's the only one really in reality who's like living her life with flying colors. Yeah, she has some hate online, that's for sure. But I would say not any more than anyone else that's involved in this case at all. And a lot of it was there even prior to this case. So it feels very like a pointed, obnoxious. To me, it feels like a stretch, a reach to blame it on gender, to blame it on you just hate her because she's a woman. I can't stand that stuff. It really, really bothers me. So I just want to pull this one little Instagram post that kind of came across my feed. And it says the new trend in the Blake Lively case is something. Apparently, if you support Blake Lively, you're actually a misogynist because you're not supporting the wives and the partners of the men she's accused. Here's why that take hurts victims. It weaponizes women against each other. It flips the story from what the men allegedly did to how uncomfortable their wives must be. That's not feminism. That's PR, she says. It protects power, not women. When supporting women suddenly means defending powerful men because their spouses might be upset, it's not about empathy. It's about keeping men safe, this person says. It punishes the woman who spoke up. We've seen this happen so many times before where the woman who names the behavior becomes the villain. That's misogyny's favorite costume, concern for other women. It assumes wives exist only in relation to their husbands. It's patronizing. Women are capable, smart adults. We can process complex realities without the internet infantilizing them. Like what? Of course, I feel for the spouses, she says. No one deserves to have their personal world upended. But don't twist that into a reason to silence another woman. Supporting Blake Lively is not anti-woman. Hard stop. Pretending feminism means protecting men from accountability because it's inconvenient for their marriages? Please. Okay. So the problem I have with these kinds of arguments is in this vein of being like a feminist, and there's like a group of people out there that are really trying to make this a feminist issue. I've never made this a feminist issue. I've never made this about it has to be about supporting women. What we're saying is that it can't be a feminist issue because there's women on both sides. So all we're saying is the people that are making it support women. An issue. It takes away from that argument since women are being slandered and lied about and attacked and abused on both sides. That's all I think that the people on Justin Baldoni's camp are saying. But this takes that and like gaslights the people by saying, you can't do that. Does that make sense? We never started the gender conversation. The people on Justin Baldoni's camp never made it about gender. I don't think anyone on Justin Baldoni's camp ever created the gender conversation about this. I think we just are saying, believe the truth. The people on Blake Lively's side are saying, believe the woman. And that's why we're saying, exactly, believe the woman. Believe the woman. Believe all women. And believe some men. Why don't we believe the people that are telling the truth? Anyway, that's all. That's all. Oh my God, Micah. Some very fine woman on both sides. I like women. Joy says, if I hear the words, let's unpack this one more time, I will unpack them right out of a freaking airplane. Let's unpack this out of a coconut tree. Do you believe in love after love? Why are we singing Cher? I can feel the world inside you say, I really don't. All right, vamonos to our next story after a word from our sponsors. This week's Daily Dose of Donna is brought to you by Hers. These days, life is busy. Schedules are packed, and taking care of your weight loss can feel like a full-time job, but who has the time? Hers is here to support you on your weight loss journey. Hers is transforming women's healthcare by providing access to weight loss treatment plans for every budget. They connect you with a medical provider who will work with you to determine the best for every treatment option for you. If prescribed, you get medication as part of a doctor-developed weight loss program, complete with ongoing care, check-ins, dosage, and medication adjustments, and access to 24/7 online support at no additional cost. No hidden fees and no membership fees. Weight loss by Hers is realistic, not restrictive. Hers provides access to affordable weight loss plans built around oral medication kits and GLP-1 injectable options. With oral medication kits starting at just $69 per month, that's right, I said 69, not 67, 67, with a 10-month plan when paid up front in full. Hers puts your health and goals first, with real medical providers making sure you have what you need to get results, all from the comfort of your couch. So if you've been struggling with your weight loss journey, it's time you find the best option that works for you through Hers. Whether you want to lose weight, grow thicker, fuller hair, or find relief for anxiety, Hers has you covered. Visit forhers.com/dailydose to get a personalized, affordable plan that gets you. That's forhers.com/dailydose. Forhers.com/dailydose. Weight loss by Hers is not available everywhere. Compounded drug products are not approved or evaluated for safety, effectiveness, or quality by the FDA. Prescription required. See website for full details, important safety information, and restrictions. Actual price depends on product and plan purchased. Let's go to our next story. You guys, Hollywood is souring on Ryan Reynolds and, but I mean the other ones, Harry and Meghan. Harry and Meghan. Okay. Thanks for putting the link up, Laura and Christina. You guys are the bomb. Harry and Meghan, who are like, I mean, if you put them in on an island, it's like Harry, Meghan, Ryan and Blake. Throw John and Chrissy in there too. I'm sure there's some other like Katy Perry and Justin Trudeau. There's some couples that just like deserve. But yes, Harry and Meghan, Hollywood is souring on them. I love that word. It's like souring. My mouth is souring just thinking about it. They're over it. Hollywood is over it. According to this source, a Hollywood source has told Page Six that when it comes to Meghan Markle and Prince Harry, there's just not an appetite for them. They realize that there's just, you guys, they're just kind of like, there's nothing else for them here in Hollywood. And I'm actually not surprised. I think when it comes down to, as you guys know, I've talked about this so much here on the show. And I don't know if it's only been on this show or also I think I've definitely talked about it on Patreon. Hollywood is such a business focused, world, right? Hollywood is all about business and making money. And Prince Harry and Meghan are, at least a few years ago, it was like ka-ching. Cha-ching? Ka-ching? Cha-ching? What is ka-ching? The hell is ka-ching? Is that a sneeze? Cha-ching. I remember 5 years ago, maybe 4 years ago, I was sitting on the bleachers at my son's baseball team. Oh my gosh, my Molly Dare is here. I'm so excited. She wants to know, is that the real Sparkle Meghan? I mean, they're neck and neck for who is more dull. This Meghan Markle or Sparkle Meghan? Meghan Sparkle, Sparkle Meghan, and Meghan Markle are two of the dullest people I've ever met. They both lack sparkle. So I was sitting at my Oliver's baseball field, and I was sitting in the bleachers, and I start talking to someone who I actually knew from back in the day. And he works at Spotify, like high up. And this was right when Meghan got her big deal. And we were talking about Call Her Daddy, and we were talking about Joe Rogan, we were talking about Meghan Markle. And it was such a big deal for them when Meghan Markle got that Spotify deal. And I remember he was telling me like the major things that were going to happen. Like, we got Meghan Markle, Spotify, like, whoa. And not 2 months later, it was such a dead end. It was such a nothing. So Spotify failed, Netflix failed. Like, they aren't doing what they can do. The Oprah thing, the documentaries, like, it's just not happening. It's not happening. And so Hollywood at the end of the day is not going to stick with you through loyalty. They're going to stick with you for money. They will align themselves with really problematic people if it's going to continue to make them money. They will not align with themselves with good-natured, sweet people if it's not going to make you money. It's all about money. It's all about the money, money, money. That song is made about Hollywood. Let's be real. So according to this article, it just says basically that there's not only no appetite left for them in LA, but they've worn through any goodwill. People are sick of them. The act has gotten stale. Netflix recently downgraded their deal with a high-profile pair. Remember, they signed the $100 million multi-year deal, was just renewed as a first-look deal. But they have no finesse, it says, when it comes to business. We're told Harry even allegedly showed up late to a Netflix meeting and then asked the executive for a cup of hot chocolate. Not the hot chocolate, Harry. I thought you drank a spot of tea. Hot chocolate. That's awkward. Okay. Then it says this is apparently his go-to beverage of choice. The story echoes a similar claim made by a Spotify employee who told Vanity Fair that Harry asked for the same drink, but there was none in the office, so employees scrambled to obtain some. Wait, did you guys know this little secret piece of news about him, that his favorite drink is a cup of hot chocolate. So awkward. Then it continues by saying they're just hopeless in professional settings. They just don't know what they're doing. An idea was pitched to Harry. What if he reviewed a hot chocolate? Wait, this is like really the story. What if he reviewed a hot chocolate every week while chatting with a different friend, which he and his team considered and rejected? Would you watch that? The hot chocolate reviews? I can't. It says the pair had reportedly signed a 3-year, $20 million deal with Spotify that ended in 2023. Plus, Markle had a podcast called Confessions of a Female Founder, which ended. Obviously, Netflix's With Love Meghan is over. She's convinced she's smarter than everyone and dismissive. Another source tells us Markle is the one in the couple who controls everything. The January 2025 Vanity Fair story quoted an anonymous person who worked in media projects as saying the experience dealing with Mark was really, really, really awful, very painful. It was unfair. What could their staff do about it? The sources were anonymous and things could not be refuted. People are terrified of Meghan. She belittles people. She doesn't take advice. They're both poor decision makers. They change their minds frequently. Harry is a very charming person, but he's very much an enabler, and she's just terrible, they say. Do you believe this, you guys? Do you believe the rumors that she's just terrible? He's an enabler. He's a yes guy. He says yes to whatever she wants, and she's just terrible. What do you guys think? Do you agree? Where is Kris Jenner when you need her? I mean, what would she like? Kris Jenner is probably salivating at her, like at the corners of her mouth to get her hands on Meghan Markle's career and just get that sex tape going. But no one wants to see a sex tape of Harry and Meghan. Like after hearing the whoop, 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 whoop. You know what I'm talking about with that whoop, 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 whoop. I still can't get over the whoop, 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 whoop from the Dodger game. Whoop, 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 whoop. H. I mean, there was nothing unsexier than seeing her jump with her diaper pants towards him after the Dodger win. That was too much for me and for everyone else. Another source told Page Six that they're working on more TV shows. Apparently, Netflix CEO Ted Sarandos is a huge fan of Harry and Meghan and regularly dines with them. They have a first look deal similar to the one the Obamas have with their production company, Higher Ground. Is that one going well? Meghan Markle noted this during her Fortune's Most Powerful Women Summit in Washington, calling the new deal an incredible sign of the strength of our partnership. She also called it exciting because it gives us flexibility to go to our partners first, then at the same time shop content that might not be the right fit for Netflix but has a home somewhere, as ever. And then it says a rep did not comment at the end of the article. Well, this is indicative of their relationship, this picture. Is that not like the most Harry and Meghan picture ever? Whoop! He's like, help. Help me. Help. Help me. All right. Well, good for them. And I wish them luck. So that story. Now, speaking of Kris Jenner, what is she going to do about Kim Kardashian's new show? Have you heard about this? I have not seen it, but I've also not been interested in a Ryan Murphy show, and I can't tell you how long. But this is crazy. Ryan Murphy's new show, All's Fair, which is with Kim Kardashian, Sarah Paulson, a bunch of big actors, has received a zero. I've never seen this in my life. Rotten Tomatoes score. 0. Called the worst TV show by critics. It has Tiana Taylor, Niecy Nash, Sarah Paulson, Glenn Close, and more. It received a 0 as of this publication. It's on Hulu. Kim Kardashian plays a divorce lawyer. Apparently, she doesn't do a good job, but it's like a campy, soapy show. Now, I've heard it was actually kind of cute from people that have watched it. Has anyone here actually seen it? Molly says it was okay, better than the critics are saying, but not great, somewhat entertaining, but not great acting. He does campy style TV, so maybe that's how he likes it. I have not been into like a Ryan Murphy show in a really long time. You have to kind of know his style, but I don't know if people are just attacking it because it's Kim and taking it out on her. Maybe people really believe that we landed on the moon and are pissed that she's spreading such falsities. You know I'm a moon believer, okay? Sorry. I'm not falling for all your crazy conspiracy theories, you loser moon fakers, okay? So maybe NASA is doing a coordinated attack on Rotten Tomatoes. Maybe that's my conspiracy. Then NASA has bought out Rotten Tomatoes and they are hacking the system because NASA is very, very angry at her moon theories. Just putting it out there. I don't want to start any shit, but it's possible. It's possible. Now, yes, I did hear about that Ed Gain series Monster. It's a monster series, which is also like, it's the series of the Menendez brothers and stuff. Like, they're a little dark, they're crazy and out there, but apparently that I don't remember how to say the last name, serial killer story is so dark, so twisted, so wild, so bad. So I don't want to have to see that. I don't know. But this show is really, really badly reviewed. It says Hollywood Reporter's TV critic Angie Han says that Kardashian's performance was stiff, effectless, without a single authentic note. Her very presence, which succeeds at generating buzz and not much else, feels fitting for a show that seems to not want to be watched as much as mined for viral bits and pieces. Lucy of The Guardian says, I did not know it was still possible to make television this bad. That's so mean. The Daily Telegraph said, called Ryan Murphy the high priest of tacky, tasteless television. Yeah, I mean, he's just kind of gone all in on just being real out there. Someone said All's Fair series is fun. CUNT women-led, high fashion, terrible script, horrible acting, and believe it or not, Kim K is not the worst part of it. Ryan Murphy has done it again. I'm sad. So I guess you kind of want that to be the vibe. It's still number 1 on the streaming charts and fans like it. So at the end of the day, like Taylor Swift says, talk about me if you like me, talk about me if you don't like me. I guess the end of the day, you're still talking about me, right? I did see something kind of funny because all the conspiracy theories that some content creators put out about everyone and all the people, like all the conspiracy theories that I don't need to talk about on this show, but I think this is really funny. My friend Addie posted this on her Instagram stories, and then of course I stole it and posted on mine, but I think this is so funny. So if you guys know that tomorrow is the 6th, right? Tomorrow, Hillary Duff is coming out with an album, and she hasn't had an album now in so long. So, or not an album, a song, and it's called Mature. And I guess she put in some sort of a, what's it called? A countdown. God, sometimes my brain. She put down a countdown on her Instagram stories. And I thought this was so funny. It says on on the Instagram. It says a countdown has appeared on Hillary Duff's website. And this is what the meme says. A countdown has appeared on Hillary Duff's website, and someone commented, or they commented, white people humor. Dick Cheney died at the exact time it hit 0. Did Hillary Duff kill Dick Cheney? And this day and age, I wouldn't be surprised how many people would take this and run with it and like create a YouTube series. I think Hillary Duff killed Dick Cheney. And now I can tell you why. Because a foreign government was involved. And you'll find out on tomorrow's episode. Just make sure to subscribe and put in a super chat. And I think you know which country was involved. Dun, dun, dun. Okay. I am obsessed with Hillary Duff. I love her, so I'm excited to hear her new song. I'm really excited about it. Wow, Molly is not. Didn't know Molly was a hater. Okay. Wow, Molly, throwing you under the bus. Are we asking for a Hillary Duff single right now? So random. Well, how about So Yesterday? So yesterday, so yesterday. Wasn't that her song? That was a Hillary Duff song, right? I'm not making that up. Na, 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 na. I feel like that was a great song. Did I get that right? So yesterday? Yeah. I can't do this too long, but I mean, I'm gonna so bop in the car today. Your life, you can change your clothes if you wanna. If you wanna. Okay. That's the way it goes. Oh my God. Oh my God, Hillary Duff. Fun fact. One of my first casting assistant jobs ever outside of That's So Raven was on her movie, which was called Heart of Summer when we did it, but it ended up being another movie. What was it actually called? Was it called Heart of Summer when it was the movie with Aiden from Sex and the City? What was her first like big movie? It was like a music camp. Okay. What's your fun fact? Fun fact, Micah says, we got our son's name after one of Hillary's sons. Her oldest son, he was on Oliver's baseball team. What's his name again? The blondie? Okay. Let's move on. Let's move on and not making a whole Hillary Duff episode. I'm coming out. Okay, Dancing with the Stars. Shock. Luca is her oldest son. Yes. Shocking elimination, but not surprised. Spoiler alert, we're about to spoil Dancing with the Stars. You guys ready for it? Lance's other wife was eliminated. So it's not Andy Richter. Okay? It's not Andy Richter. Lance's other wife is not Andy Richter. Everyone thought this was going to be the week Andy Richter was going home. And it wasn't. It was Topanga. Danielle Fishel. And I am okay with it. I'm sorry. I'm okay with it. Danielle Fishel was just not my cup of tea towards the end of the series. And I just have to say, this is why, and it's the same reason that I thought it was for Jen Affleck last weekend, because Jen Affleck and Danielle Fishel, and I hate to say it because I am someone that gets in my feelings. I am someone that gets emotional. I go through my ups and my downs. When you as a viewer at home are feeling the angst and the depression and the ups and the downs and the emotions and the we don't want to see it. Yeah, we want to see that it's a struggle. We want to see the growth. We want to see that, but they're in their head too much and they're depressed and they're feeling like they're feeling defeated on a week to week to week to week to week. And it's so like not enjoyable to watch. So it was Jen Affleck was feeling highly defeated. And then other than that, Danielle has been feeling highly defeated. She just looks depressed. She doesn't look happy. She looks like bummed every week. That being said, it also wasn't the best dancing. She's cute, but it wasn't great dancing. I just don't think that she and Pasha had, and bless Pasha's heart, but I just don't think that she and Pasha had what it took to like really nail it. And Andy Richter is not the best dancer, but he absolutely has the story. And I'm crying watching his packages. That's what I said. I said I watched his package. Yes, I watched Andy Richter's package. I can't believe I said that out loud, but it's true. I watch his package. And I just don't think that Danielle has that heart on the dance floor the same way that Andy does. Do you know what I'm saying? The rest of them do more. I have a new obsession. My obsession is Alex Earl. She's my favorite. I want her to win the whole thing. I know that that's weird. It's a turn because I did want Robert, but now I want Alex Earl. 1000%. Now, this was Danielle on the final dance. I mean, she's cute. It was really sweet. It was nice, but it wasn't my favorite. It just wasn't my favorite. Now, I was kind of shocked last night to find out that Pasha, I'm pretty sure Pasha is married to Dylan Efron's wife. I mean, Pasha is married to Dylan Efron's partner in real life. Yes. Do you guys know that? This is such a crazy incestual cast. Pasha's real life wife is Dylan Efron's partner, Danielle, because everyone thinks Danielle and Dylan are having an affair. But Daniela is Pasha's wife, and she and Dylan Efron are like sexy as can be together when they do their dancing together. So Dylan Efron was good. He did fine. I don't think he's like an amazing dancer, but I can see the appeal. I can see the sexiness. I can see like the vibe. I can see why everyone's like into them and, loving on them and into it. Okay. Now, meanwhile, to continue with the connections of the show, we also have they had like these group dances yesterday. We have Emma Slater, who's with Andy Richter, of course, and they're so cute. And of course, they got to stay again last night. But Emma Slater, as you guys know, is not single. She is dating Alan Burstyn. Am I saying his name right? She's dating Alan. This is so cute. By the way, Andy's package yesterday, I always say I call it a package because that's what Lance calls it. It's their behind the scenes stuff. That's what Lance films. Alan is, Andy's behind the scenes stuff where he was like crying was so sweet, so emotional, so adorable. And their dance was cute. It really was. I mean, he's not an amazing dancer. Let's be real, but it was like so sweet. Lance was like bawling. Sorry, Lance gets like a real emotional when he watches this, but he has such a good story. But meanwhile, Emma is actually in real life with Alan. And before she was with Alan, by the way, she used to be married to another guy, Sasha, who's no longer on the show. Sasha was with Jen Tran last season. Jen Tran was a bachelorette. I mean, the relationships on the show are insane. So basically, if you're on Dancing with the Stars, you're going to probably have sex with another dancer at some point. It's really, really wild. Meanwhile, Emma is actually dating this cutie, Alan. They're very cute together. Now, Alan's partner is Elaine. And both of them are still on the show, which is crazy. They both have these, the older partners, Elaine and Andy. They probably both thought they were going to go pretty early. And now we're in week 9, I think, and they're both still here, which is insane that they've outlived Jen Affleck and Danielle Fishel. It's insane. So Elaine is still here too. I loved their dance last night. Did you guys not? I thought Elaine's dance was adorable, sweet, lovely. I thought it was great. So Elaine is still here. They did a really nice job. Now, more incestual stuff is that over here on the left of this dance is Val. Now, Val is Max Chermovsky's brother, but he's also in this relationship, in this couple, he's my new lover, Alex Earl's partner. This is their dance. It's the song Living on a Prayer. I can't remember if they're just girlfriend or just boyfriend or wife and husband. Now I can't remember. And this is going to confuse you even more, is Jenna Johnson, who's another dancer, but she now has been off the show. Oh no, they must be married because this is probably his son, no? Yeah. So Jenna Johnson, Chermovsky, yes. So they're married. So his wife is Jenna Johnson, who was also on the show. She was unfortunately partnered with the ridiculous, what's his name, Corey Feldman or whatever, and she had to go early on in the show because, come on, what a mess. Okay, now the last partnership. Oh, we also had Whitney Levitt and this was also shocking that I found out last night. You guys all probably knew this. Whitney Levitt's partner is Mark Ballas. Do you guys know who Mark Ballas is actually with? Did you guys know? I had no idea that Whitney Levitt's partner, Mark Ballas, is dating Julianne Hough. No idea. Had no idea. This was all new to me yesterday. I asked Lance last night. I was like, is Mark Ballas dating? Is he engaged? Is he married? Is he single? Is he gay? Like, what's his deal? Never knew. He and Julianne Hough are together. Shocked. Had no idea. I don't know if that's new information. No idea. So that's shocking. And then finally, we have Robert Irwin, and which was an amazing dance last night. Like Whitney's dance was fine, but it didn't shock me or like do anything amazing. It wasn't like over the top. And then finally we have Robert Irwin, who I thought was, as always, phenomenal. Look at this. Definitely not listening well. I have no idea what I said. What? Who are you? What show is this? Let's move on. So they did team dances and Danielle went home. Anyway, it's just us. So let's move on to another show. I'm starting to sweat in places I shouldn't. So yesterday. Okay, so I did ayahuasca last night. That's right. I did do ayahuasca. I just forgot. I did a whole bunch of ayahuasca. I did so much ayahuasca last night. How do you do ayahuasca? Do you drink it? How do you do ayahuasca? I was in Minnesota drinking boxed wine. What? Was yesterday a fever dream when we saw some crazy mayoral election? What's happening? You guys, a lot of you guys probably have no idea what I'm talking about. So half of you guys are thinking, did Donna do ayahuasca? Oh my God. You drink it and you vomit. I did see, okay, I don't want to go too off topic. Okay, I'm not going to go too off topic here. Let's go on. I just have some ayahuasca in my Stanley right now. Hold on, let me shake my ayahuasca. Real Housewives of Salt Lake City was also really fun. Now, did you guys know that my man Todd over there, Bronwyn's husband Todd, farts when Oh yeah, Flava Flav. We got to talk about Flava Flav. Oh my God, I cannot believe I forgot. Flava Flav. I heard Flava Flav is hooking up with Julianne Hough. You guys, that's right. It's Flava Flav. Flava Flav is hooking up with Julianne Hough. That's right. What were they thinking? This was such a crazy, crazy decision. Flava Flav paid a lot of money to be on that show. Like, okay, so the theme was Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. When you think Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, isn't Flava Flav the first name that comes to your mind? What was that? What was that? Flava Flav. Oh, yeah, this is a great dance. I think you're so good. I give you a 6. This is just a okay dance. It's good. 10. I mean, like, what was happening? It was so bad. He had no idea what he was talking about. Has Flava Flav ever danced? You need a dance judge, not just like a random stunt casting celebrity. Like, this show needs a celebrity. And if anything, you don't need Flava Flav. Bring in someone that is actually going to elevate the show, like John Chu, the director from Wicked. That made sense. Cheryl Burke. That made sense. The old dancer Kim Johnston. That made sense. Next week, they're bringing back, this is also a little weird, but it does make sense, Tom Bergeron. That kind of makes sense because he used to be the guest host. He used to be the host of the show. He's still not a dancer, so that's a little weird. Flava Flav was like, they literally got a bag, a bucket, and just threw in every single celebrity from the last 30 years. And they were like, I guess we're bringing in Flava Flav. I mean, it was crazy. I think they need to like satisfy some sort of deal. Oh, it's kind of like the Dodgers. The 4 Dodgers. Oh, this is my sports analogy from last night. Can you guys hear me? The 4 Dodgers who were sitting in the audience, they were like, they made a face. I think that they thought that they were an actual, like they were at the like urologist or something. I was dying of laughter when I was talking to Lance. Like, we were dying. They looked truly like they were miserable. They did not want to be there. I think they thought that they were going to something else, and then they ended up at Dancing with the Stars. Because Molly and I were just at Dancing with the Stars live. It's a 2-hour-long show. You're kind of stuck in your seats. You can only be happy if you like the show. I'm sure their wives would have been happier being there. They didn't want to be there. They were like, the fuck am I doing here? I just won the World Series and all I got were front row tickets to Dancing with the Stars. Like, what were they doing there? They were like, huh? Especially the guy on the left. I don't know what his name is, or like the guy on the right, whatever. The guy closest to the judges, he was like, I mean, they were miserable. It was kind of random and funny. We were laughing. Okay. Now on to Real Houses of Salt Lake City. I'm not going to do a full recap. I'm just going to pick up a couple things. Number 1, Todd. Lisa spreads rumors about Todd, and Bronwyn's pissed, especially because it's about the fact that her older goober husband, Todd, hooks up with other women while farting. Now, when I tell you, Mary said it best in her confessional. She goes, I don't know what I would be more embarrassed about. The fact that my husband is hooking up with other women, or that he's farting the whole time he's doing it. When I tell you, I don't know what I would be more embarrassed about. I would rather Lance just be cheating on me than cheating on me and farting, passing gas while he's stripping. How gross and how accurate is it? Like, we've all seen Todd. If Todd is effing other women, he's absolutely farting. Like, there's no way he's not farting if he's effing. We've seen Todd. You guys, he's farting. And you know it and I know it. Right? There's no way he's not. I've seen him eat that cherry off the ice cream. We've all seen him snack away. There's a lot of gas going on. Okay? Todd is farting. So Lisa probably was accurate. I just think so. Then, second to that, there's all this drama. Okay, I don't know. Bronwyn slept on the deck of the boat. That to me is a little outrageous. Brittany is trying to hook up with Captain Jason. Finally, Angie can stand, walk, and talk. Heather and Whitney are shockingly able to move around and walk around because Heather is drinking from morning till night, like I said. Everyone's mad at everyone. Lisa's mad. Everyone's mad at everyone. But the best part of the entire show was when at the end of the show, Brittany out of nowhere decides to call Meredith out. After she's throwing up, Brittany starts to throw up. Again, we have a throw up scene on this episode. Brittany decides to throw up off the side of the boat during dinner. They're all dressed like zombies. I always tune out when there's dress up scenes. There's always dress up scenes. I can't with the dress up. Why are we always dressing up? It's like it's bringing back Halloween. I have PTSD from Halloween always. We don't have to dress up. There's enough going on. They all have knives coming out of their faces, lots of like skeletons and blood, and Bronwyn has like tentacles. It's too much for me. But they're getting out of they're sitting there. All of a sudden, Brittany stands up. She goes to the side of the boat. She pukes. She stands up. She comes back to the table and she starts drinking tequila. Like a nothing. I've never seen anything like this. I mean, the last time I've ever seen anyone do that was in college, where you get up, you puke, and then you go back to drinking. It's called puke and rally. I've never seen a 40, 50-year-old woman do that. Then she sits down, she drinks again, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, bleh, comes back, drinks, and then she goes, Meredith, I want to talk to you about your husband. Rockstar behavior. Rockstar. Meredith goes, what? Now, Meredith, meanwhile, has a knife through her head. So imagine this is a knife. So a full knife in her head. She goes, what? Brittany and Meredith do not get along. And Brittany's like, I want to tell you what I saw on TikTok earlier. As if TikTok, we've all learned that TikTok is not true, right? You guys know that there's people that spread lies on TikTok all the time, right? It's happened to me. It's happened to you. It's happened to all the things in the world. It happened to Justin Baldoni. Like, TikTok's not true. So all of a sudden she goes, oh God, this is going to be stuck in me now for the rest of the day. So she goes, I need this out now. It hurts. And now it's stuck in me. Like, it really hurts. Okay. So then, she goes, what did you see on TikTok, Brittany? And Brittany goes, that your husband is having an affair. He has a mistress. And Meredith goes, my relationship is just fine. My marriage is just fine, Brittany. We do not have an affair. Just because you break up with Jared every single time he wants to sleep with someone else, just because he breaks up with you. And Brittany goes, I break up with him. Just because you and him break up every time he wants to sleep with someone else does not mean that that my husband is having an affair with a mistress. You are disgusting. I want nothing to do with you. I am disgusted with you. And out of nowhere, she takes her knife out of her hair and she just tosses the knife at her. But it goes towards Whitney. And it's a fake knife. It could be considered assault if it was like a real knife, but it's a fake knife. But she always throws things. Meredith is a thrower. I can only imagine what it was like growing up with Meredith. After some wine, maybe some pillows. I'm sure there was a lot of things being thrown in that house. I guarantee it. There's a lot of inner rage. I don't want anything to do with you. The knife gets thrown. And then she goes, can I have my knife back? Now, there's accusations being thrown left and right. They're fighting left and right. I will say, nothing really happens on the show other than everything, but nothing. It's low stakes. It's fun drama. It's good TV. Real Houses of Salt Lake City is always just, it's good. It's good TV. And that's where I leave you, you guys. This is where I'll leave you. Is there anything else? Is there anything else I can give you? I think that's it. I love you guys. Thank you so much for being here and supporting the show. And that's it. Have a great rest of your Wednesday. Enjoy your life. And I'll talk to you later. Bye.